Today I'm going to reveal to you the 3 things that you should be doing right now if you want to see a flat stomach in the mirror and look down and see your shoes. Because there's so many guys out there that can lose body fat around their arms, they can lose it around their legs, their neck, and even their face. But for some reason, most guys feel like they're doing everything right, but they can't lose the belly fat around their stomach. And there really are reasons for this, reasons that many people don't even talk about on the internet right now, which is why 60 to 70% of men today have some abdominal body fat around their stomach. And today I'm going to reveal to you exactly how you can implement these 3 strategies into your diet and into your lifestyle immediately so you can start seeing results as quickly as possible. So if that's you, you want to see a flat stomach in the mirror, I highly recommend you stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So number 1, first thing we have to do that I see a lot of guys not doing is prioritize animal foods in every single meal. Make it a non-negotiable for every single meal that you eat to eat animal foods. And if we want to amplify this benefit, we want to eat fattier cuts of meat because fat does not stimulate an insulin response at all whatsoever. I highly recommend for my clients to eat ribeyes, eat the fattier cuts of fish like mackerel because they get so much more in the way of satiety and they get little to no insulin response at all whatsoever. If you don't know what insulin is, I'll drop my video down below explaining how the hormone works and how it stores body fat, but essentially, insulin is the ultimate predictor of how much body fat you're going to lose or gain. It's an anabolic hormone that is responsible for fat storage, either around the subcutaneous region, around the skin, or around the visceral region, around your organs. And if you stimulate this hormone over and over like you would with a plant-based diet, if you're already somewhat metabolically unhealthy, you're a little bit older, which you most likely are if you're watching this video, you're 40 to 50 years old, and if you're not, I would probably click off if you're a young teenager because this is not for you. But going back into it, if you are a guy that is already somewhat metabolically unhealthy, you have some abdominal fat, some belly fat, and you're in your 40s or 50s, then you certainly should not be doing a plant-based diet. My client Brian, for example, was doing a plant-based diet for many, many years until we completely flipped that on its head, and now he's eating a whole lot more in the way of animal foods, and he's lost an incredible amount of abdominal body fat already. And it's only been a few months. We've only been working together for a few months, and he lost 10 pounds within his first 3 weeks, and he's already lost a whole lot more in the way of belly fat. And not to mention he's packing on so much more in the way of muscle now just because he's getting all 9 essential amino acids in each meal, something he was not getting before. With animal foods, you get all 9 essential amino acids, right? Even with just an ounce of ground beef, you get isoleucine, leucine, valine, all the anabolic essential amino acids, but you do not get that with a plant-based source of protein, such as soy protein isolate, any sort of pea protein, white rice, or any other plant that you want to use as an example. And not to mention, most of these plants aren't very bioavailable anyway, bioavailable meaning the amount of nutrients you can actually consume of a food, because these plants are loaded with defense chemicals and anti-nutrients, phytic acid, oxalates, isothiocyanates, etc., that are solely responsible for withholding their nutrient content and passing it over to the next generation. And this is especially true with nuts, which I talked about in my last video. I'll link that one down below as well. The 5 foods that you should be avoiding that not many people talk about. And one of those foods was nuts that are full of phytic acid. And this phytic acid is solely responsible for withholding the nutrient content that is held within that nut and passing it over to the next generation, making it less bioavailable. You cannot utilize the nutrients as well or as much of them in comparison to eating animal foods. So I'm not saying completely dismiss plant foods 110%. We still need more in the way of clinical data to show that these anti-nutrients and phytic acid, isothiocyanates, oxalates, lectins, etc., all these other anti-nutrients actually cause problems physiologically within the human body, but it's clear already that they're not as bioavailable most likely for those reasons, but animal foods are just because they don't have those same defense chemicals. So definitely a lot of information there, but we got to bring it up. And it really comes down to those 2 things, right? Having all 9 essential amino acids in your diet, in your meal, whenever you're eating more of an animal-based meal, and getting more satiety and little to no insulin response. So all those benefits combined are going to be a recipe for a very low body fat percentage, you eating away at your body fat stores because you're eating foods that are not putting you in a position to store body fat, and you're getting satiated at the same time, so you're not going to be as hungry to continue to binge on anything else that would be unhealthy. And you're also getting all 9 essential amino acids isoleucine, leucine, and valine, the three most anabolic as well, that will help you induce muscle protein synthesis and add more muscle mass to your body, increase the size of that metabolic sponge, and really boost your metabolic rate. So safe to say there's a lot of benefits that come with eating more in the way of animal-based protein, and all of those reasons, all that put together, that's going to be a recipe for a flat stomach. Because if you are eating a higher fat, higher protein oriented diet and you're doing it on a daily basis with each and every meal, it's going to be very difficult for you to, one, store more in the way of belly fat, and two, it's going to be even difficult for you to not eat away at your own body fat stores around the abdominal region, around your stomach, once you actually are in a state of nutritional ketosis. To an extent, you can still be in this state to some degree, even if you're eating some natural carbohydrates from fruits and vegetables, but you can still get into that state if you are eating more in the way of higher fat, higher protein foods from animals that are from a good source, so you can unlock the body fat stores, not only around different areas of your body, but of course, your stomach, which is the ultimate thing that you guys want here. Now, number 2 is to eliminate snacking. We always want to give our gut a break, right? It kind of comes back into what we were talking about before. The goal here is to unlock our own body fat stores and to eat away at them. And we can't do that if we're constantly interrupting the breakdown of what we were just trying to previously digest and break down before, when we're snacking, eating an apple here and there, and grazing. The only animals that are meant to graze are the ones that have 4 digestive systems, such as a cow. We are monogastric organisms. We only have one digestive system. So we are not necessarily designed to eat multiple meals per day and not give our gut any time to actually break down and bioactively digest the food that just came in previously, right? We can't just constantly have 2 hours in between our meals each and every single time. We can't constantly have just 2 hours in between our meals every single time we eat something. We have to have clear, defined meals that are going to be healthy for us, that are going to help us get a good insulin response, and then give our gut a break and wait until we're physically hungry, meaning that we actually feel an emptiness sensation in our stomach. We wait for that sensation to actually eat instead of just going off of pure psychological hunger and cravings that lead us to basically interrupt the metabolic breakdown of what was coming in before, and now we're in a state where we're most likely not going to unlock our own body fat stores and start using them as fuel because we have to break down this apple, this piece of cheese, this cake, or whatever it is that just came in when you were just trying to break down something else. So number 2 is to eliminate snacking completely and increase what's called your time-restricted eating window, which essentially is the window of time in between your meals every single time you eat. Now, number 3 here is to train every single muscle group in your body at least once per week and do at least one exercise with each one of these muscle groups where you are doing some sort of progressive overload, where you are adding more and more weight with each and every set. I don't care if you do 5 sets of 10, 5 sets of 5, 10, 8, 6, 6, 5, 10, or whatever it is. You want to be adding weight to the bar and stimulating, stressing your muscles to where they are broken down, to where they have to be rehabilitated again, rejuvenated to grow. And if your muscles aren't growing, neither is your metabolic rate. And if you have a very low metabolic rate, your likelihood of eating away at your body fat stores around your belly is not going to be very high in comparison to somebody that is targeting each and every muscle group each week and is also including exercises that involve progressive overload, and he's constantly adding more and more weight to the bar. And if anything, you probably want to be doing that every single time you're lifting. Now, there may be certain instances there where you want to do a cool down, you want to warm up, or you want to kind of fluff up your muscles a bit. I get it, especially if you want to do some straight bar curls and you want to fluff up your biceps, but you don't want to be doing that all the time. You want to be lifting heavy and you want to be adding weight with each and every set every single time you get a chance. And what you can do is simply rate your exercises, or your sets, I should say, by a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being it feels like nothing, you can do it for the next 10 hours, or 10, if somebody were to hold a gun to your head, you couldn't do another rep. But ideally, we'd like to get in between a 6 to 7 out of 10, where it's challenging, but it's doable at the same time. And if we can do that, then we're good, we're golden. But until we actually get to that level, we shouldn't stop adding weight. So many guys will, let's say you're doing a tricep push down, you start at 50, you go up to 60, oh, it's kind of hard, but it's a 5 out of 10. You stay there for the next 3 sets, and then you don't get the most potential out of that particular lift because you quit early. What you really should do is, boom, take it to 70. Oh, it's still a 5 out of 10. Boom, take it to 80 after that set. Oh, wow, okay, now I'm at like a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna go up to 100 now and just test that out. Oh, okay, this is like 7, 8 out of 10. I'm gonna stay here for my final 2 sets. That's what you should be doing on the majority of your lifts. At least 1 exercise, at least, if not more than that. With each and every workout, you should be doing progressive overload every single time. Doesn't matter what the structure of your sets look like, whether you're chopping your reps down or you're keeping your reps the same. We want to be adding weight to the bar, and if we can do that with the majority of our lifts, that's optimal, but we want to at least be doing it with 1 exercise per workout. And that's exactly what Chris did. Chris got to the point to where he was training multiple times per week, and every single time he was training, he was adding more and more weight to the bar, and he was getting a very big metabolic boost and was adding plenty of muscle. We started working together over the summer, and he got down to 200 pounds within 3.5 months, and he started at 236. Then we started working together a couple of months later, added in that same exact exercise philosophy that I was just talking about, and then got him down another 10 pounds within just a few months. And now he's at his lowest body fat percentage ever. He's got a flat stomach, and he has no gut at all whatsoever, and he's looking awesome. So the best way you can do that for yourself as well is to follow all 3 of those strategies. I'll just recap them here for you. So number 1, eat more in the way of animal foods. Number 2, increase your time-restricted eating window and completely cut out snacking. That's gonna be huge. And number 3, prioritize weight training and do at least some progressive overload, at least with 1 exercise with each workout that you do, and target each and every muscle group each week with weight training. You do that, you're gonna see amazing results, just like all my clients, like the 2 I mentioned, Brian and Chris, not to mention Dion, who lost 12 pounds within his first month, Eric, who lost 20 pounds in 2 months, Joel, who lost 50 pounds in 5 months. I can go on and on. All these guys followed that exact advice and much more so. And if you want additional help as well and some accountability in a structured plan that will get you to where you wanna be and get you that flat stomach, then I highly recommend you click the first link on the top of the video description to speak with me directly to see if I can help you lose your gut for good without counting or restricting a single calorie. Now, if you want to give it a try on your own, go for it, but you should definitely keep me updated on your progress, and you can do so by following me on Instagram at itsbobbyobrien. The link to my Instagram will be in the middle of the video description. You can follow me there and ask me any sort of questions that you have or anything that comes up. You can let me know, and we can see if I can possibly help you fast track your progress even further if you'd like some additional accountability and a well-structured plan. So that is it for this video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.